Hey guys, so I wanted to kind of show you where I'm at. Yesterday I went down to Driveline and Gear in Reno, and so there are my new drive shafts. That closest one, which is a front drive shaft, I had to have lengthened, and then this other one is I had to shorten it. So I shortened it right there, and then I had them balance it. So they are ready to go back in the truck. And then over here I have a new airdog kit. We're going to upgrade the fuel pump and such. I was having problems out of that. I did get a bunch of the wiring figured out. I got to clean it up, but I got a bunch of the wiring figured out. Basically what I had is I had one ground that was hooked to a hot, and it was throwing everything off, causing everything to go into limp mode. It's causing everything to go into limp mode, so it just would not run right. It was acting like it wasn't building boost. So I got that figured out. I was looking at one of the websites that are, or the Facebook sites that are like Cummins Talk or whatever, and the guy told me that. So if you can see that right there, I had to cut that air conditioning box to go around my turbo there. Now I had to do that because this is a Dodge frame. I guess on a lot of just the Chevy swaps, when you just put a Cummins in a square body, you don't have to do that, but I had to because I guess it being on a Dodge frame things around. So that's where we're at. Alright guys, so you see I've been running some wires and stuff like that and just buttoning everything up. I still gotta get these wires here, button them up, but you can see I put some stuff back there. Right here you'll see an external voltage regulator, and what I did on this is these alternators, they don't have an internal regulator. The regulator they're regulated by the computer. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to the alternator wasn't charging, and I wanted to get it regulating right. So I ran a hot wire from when my ignition switch would come on. It turns that right back there on. Can't see it too well unless I move my finger. But it turns that right back there on. And then there's power coming out of there, and it comes down this wire right here and ignites that regulator, which should cause the alternator to start charging. I put a low battery in it while it was running, and it would not start charging that alternator. I still don't know why. All I did is I unhooked the power coming out of the cab and hooked it straight to the battery, and it started charging. Now, why, if there's one battery in here, I took both batteries out and put a low one in here with 8 volts. It would not start charging that battery until I hooked it directly to the battery and then started charging. To this day, I don't know why. I couldn't figure it out. So what I done is I just put a relay in there. So the alternator is reading the battery straight from the battery, that voltage regulator it is. But it runs through that relay first. So the relay's hooked to the ignition switch. Ignition switch comes on, tells the voltage regulator to start, or tells the relay to close the circuit. And then the voltage regulator and everything works. I don't know why it wouldn't work the other way, but that's how I wound up doing it. So I took the bed off last night, and I'm going to install this airdog kit now. I got the drive shaft installed here. That one's balanced. I actually measured this one here. And when they made it an inch too long. So I'm going to have to take it back. But I got the airdog kit laid out here, and I'm going to start with it and get it put on. I should have enough room in the top of that tank right there in that high hump right there to put this thing right down through there. And this is a 150 gallon kit to put this down through there like that and then come right off there. So that is the tube that sucks it up in there. So that's all the wiring there, I got to tell you, if you can get an airdog, do that. This piece right here is the shifter for the four-wheel drive mechanism for the transfer case out of the Dodge. Okay, so I took this stuff apart. I wanted to show you what I did. This was actually part of the Dodge floor, and what I did is I cut it out. It was cut way out here like this. Cut way out here like this, and I trimmed it down because I wasn't sure if I was going to need to use it. And this was bolted to it like that on the inside. And then on the back side of this, this was bolted to this like this. That was all part of the floor. So when you look down, that's what you saw in the Dodge. So what I've done is I took all this apart, and then I measured out. The reason I cut this down is I wanted to measure it out and see where this would fall on my pan. So that's the hole for my where the 6-speed manual stick comes up. So I cut this out, and then once I got it cut and the holes drilled and everything where I wanted it, then I was able to put this piece on. So I was able to get this piece put on and got it squared away. Once I got it squared away, you can see the back side there. So I just took it, and I'm gonna prop you up here to where you can see. I just took it where and bolted on just like that. Now, it doesn't look straight here. It doesn't look straight right there. But if you look up here, as far as straight with the stick inside, it is. So that's what it looks like up here. And it should work out just fine. It's got plenty of room to move. And then once I get all that done, I'll get it back in the truck. This pan right here, I got a 4-speed pan that had the hole in the middle. And I was working down at the shop, and I set it on the back of a semi on the tire while I was working on something else. Guy come in and jumped in his truck, took off, and run over top of it. And he actually flattened this completely out. And what I done is it was bent so bad I couldn't fix it. So what I did is this piece that I cut out of my floor, I just used it along the edge here. I cut that off the old one, and then just used my center for it, and that allowed me to cut my holes where I actually needed them. So it looks like it's going to work out pretty good. And I'm going to get this bolted together. Once I get it bolted together, I'll show you guys me putting it in here. Alright guys, got it all painted up and got that bolted back on, the shifting lever there. And now I'm going to stick it in the truck. So I got this in, guys. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to drill these. And I'm going to, I'm debating whether I want to try to weld a nut on the bottom or just put a nut on the bottom with a lock washer, which is probably what I'll do. But I might even just use a self-threading bolt, like a screw. Okay, so on the floor, you'll see the floor is black now. That's actually Flex Seal. My son right now is, he likes that stuff, so we bought some and he used it on here, and it actually worked really well. When I started cleaning, you'll see that down in here there's some pits. When I started cleaning in there, I had just some real small rust holes in there. They were like the size of pencil lead. The biggest one wasn't as big as around as a pencil, and I didn't want to try to weld those shut. So what I thought is I'm going to let him see if he can just seal them with this stuff. And sure enough, it looks like he done a pretty good job. Yeah, I didn't want to try to cut out a hole and then weld in a plate for a hole that small. So he wound up doing that all the way across. He did get a little bit on my kick panels there. I'm going to have to clean, but they got to learn somehow. So I had to cut my air box here to fit around that exhaust pipe. You can see it just barely fits in there. I mean, it's really tight. There's like about a ½ inch between it that you can, if I move the right way, you can see it. And basically, what I did is I just cut the hole in the airbox, and then I took a piece of coffee can, just a metal coffee can, and cut the circle out of that, and then riveted into it. So I took the bed off last night, and I'm gonna install this airdog kit now. I got the drive shaft installed here. That one's balanced. I actually measured this one here, and when they made it an inch too long, so I'm gonna have to take it back. But I got the airdog kit laid out here, and I'm gonna start with it and get it put on. I should have enough room in the top of that tank right there in that high hump right there to put this thing right down through there. And this is a 150-gallon kit to put this down through there like that, and then come right off there. So that is the tube that sucks it up in there. So. Just out here with my truck. I've been driving it lately, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm getting some crazy looks in town. People are really digging it. I had to have a drive shaft built, and I had to have a front one built, and then it was built the wrong size. I had to take it back. They fixed it, but I know it's been a while since I put out a video, guys, but I've had, since I started this project, I've had 4 surgeries, and it just takes a lot of time to get over them. So bear with me, but I got this one going, and then I got a couple more I want to show you guys. So I picked this truck up. It's a 74 Cheyenne Super, which, if you don't know much about square bodies, the Cheyenne Super was basically a Silverado before they called them Silverados. The motor had a real bad knock on it, so I pulled the motor out, and I'm waiting on the new one to come in. So it'll have a new motor in it, but it's pretty clean old truck. There's the hood for it. It's a pretty clean old truck inside. I'm very pleased with it. Usually you see these trucks, they're tore all to pieces, but you can see this one's actually pretty nice inside. Everything's here. Headliner, it needs glued, but the headliner's here. All the plastic's here. The door panels look good. Dash looks good. I mean, it really is in really good shape. Even the seat don't look bad. I'm not real sure why they covered it, and I might figure it out once I get it out. But this is one of them I got going on. Here's another one I got going, guys. This is an 89 Chevy. It's a four-wheel drive step side. It's a little rough. It needs some loving, but the price I got it for, I couldn't turn it down. But it's actually not it's a pretty clean truck. The only dent in it is that dent right there in the door. Other than that, it's super clean. Same thing on it. So the motor had a real bad knock in it. So I got it for a little bit of nothing. So on that one, guys, I got a small block Vortec coming for it. It's got to be shipped out here, but it's coming from my nephew in Indiana. Here's another one I got going, so tell me if you guys figure out what this is pretty quick. They're getting harder and harder and harder to find. This one runs. I did some trading with a guy on a transmission and got this thing. You can see it's pretty rough shape. But it's all here. I mean, the parts are here. It just needs put together. So I'm going to try to work on that maybe this winter, because I can easily get that in my garage. And then I think I've showed you guys this old truck. This is a 69 camper special. So it's got the extra long bed right here. These beds are actually like 8.5 feet long. This thing is a factory 396. They called them a 402, or I'm sorry, they called them a 400. But it's a 396 punch 30 over. 30 or 40, I forget which. But this truck is a beast. I mean, it'll break traction going in second gear. I actually looked at one of these trucks. I looked up the stats on it one time. And the 396 in these were rated between 325 and 375 horse from the factory. But you see, it's a little banged up, but for the most part, really straight. Truck runs and drives. I drove it 600 miles to get it here. So it's great old truck. And it's pretty clean inside too. Check it out. Seats in good shape. It's a little dirty. The kids put some chicken feeders in here, but you can see it's in really good shape for what it is. A little bit of cancer in it. A little bit of cancer right there. A little bit on that side, right over there in the corner. Other than that, great shape. And like I said, runs and drives great. Alright guys, and then here's the last one I picked up. Look at there. That is a 1974 Scout 2. This thing is super solid. It's the only real damage to it is right there. This quarter is beat up pretty bad, but it's super solid. And it's not too bad on the inside. I actually got some parts from Zane over at Hodgepodge Dodge Garage for my dash that he sent out. And I'll start working on that pretty quick. But you can see it's a really solid. I mean, the rocker panels and stuff are in really good shape. This truck's, and it runs and drives. But I actually got it because I wanted that. We get snow where I'm at, and I needed a snow plow. And I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to stick it on the old Dodge up there. But that's why I got it. But I'm really pleased with it. It's really good and straight. Nice looking old Scout, and fairly good shape inside. Seats aren't all ripped up or nothing. Like I said, it's a little beat up, but it starts and runs. I'll show you these seats here. Look at that. Look at those seats. Not bad at all. My chickens. Got a bunch of them. Freaking chickens everywhere, man. This here you guys might like if you're looking to build you a chicken coop. This is just built out of pallets. You can actually see me and my son. We took pallets and cut between the rails and cut the slats out and made shake siding out of it. Got a little bit off on the door there, but you know what? It's fine. It's a chicken coop. But you can build this coop for nothing, basically. Well, there you have it, guys. That's all my projects I got going on right now. They're just everywhere. Always wheeling and dealing in something. So, alright guys, well, I'll keep you up to date on my project truck. I'm about done with that. And then once I'm completely done, my plan is to get some shirts made. And then we'll be able to get those out if you guys want one. But if you like this kind of stuff, I really encourage you. If you like this kind of stuff, definitely check out Hodgepodge Dodge Garage with Zane. He does He's into all kinds of stuff. He's always bringing something home. So, all right, guys. Till the next one.
Sup?
Levi says, all right, guys.